Oh, man, a new day. Still we rise. Really tough week for our team last week. But most of the time after I review film, I get really frustrated. And to be honest, I get frustrated in a different way because when I watch film, we are far from perfect. But my goodness, we did some awfully good things last week. And to have absolutely nothing to show for it in the win-loss column makes me incredibly frustrated for our players. We did some really good things last week when you break down that week, to lose to Tennessee in 5 and then to lose to Marquette in 5 and then still have to face, 2 more top 25 caliber teams. And Dayton, that was the match that I thought we were clearly beaten in. But then you come back and ask for it one more time against Illinois, and, you're that ridiculous ending, from being up 2-0 on Illinois, 2-0. And when I say ridiculous ending, I mean I don't mean that call on that in-out call. That ball was in. That was the correct call. But just being an inch away from being in a position to go up 2-0 and maybe they go away, and you can finish that one off. And excuse me. And so just, you got to make your luck. We all know that. You got to push through those things. But just an incredibly frustrating week for our team in a week where we played some really, really high-level volleyball and ultimately had nothing to show for it.
You said frustrating week, but kind of difference between last week and this week is you don't have a midweek. You just go to Arkansas. So does that mean you guys get more time in the gym?
No question. And there's things on film, but again, you would think result-wise, you would think, man, we got so many things to clean up. We're close, man. I love this team. I love this team, and it was frustrating. And we certainly have things we want to work on, but there's good days ahead for this team. And it'll be great to be, last week, because of the midweek match, as I told you guys, we really did nothing in practice. And so I am excited about having the opportunity to get back in the gym this week and clean a few things up. But this is about just getting our players to understand how good we are and how close we are, and to kind of lick their wounds a little bit and come in with purpose today and get back to it. And if they do that, I know exactly where we're headed. So that's what I'm looking to see.
With the last week, 2 straight set matches, and you got to play Dayton a couple hours after,
Mm-hmm.
and Illinois the next day. Was there a level of, mental physically that kind of stayed in?
That's what I'm really proud of with our team. Yes, there's no question. There's a big-time level of fatigue. And we played Tuesday, we played, as you said, twice on Friday, and then had to get up and play Illinois on Saturday. And, Illinois only played once on Friday, didn't play a midweek. So it was their second match of the week. It was our 4th in 5 days. But every single time, I was very worried about what level of effort our team would put out there. And I thought our team was ready to play each and every time we took the floor. And I'm really, really proud of them for that. And, again, it's just one of those things where you just wish you could have helped give them something to show for what we did, because we did some great things. And so I just have to keep them understanding that, because if they say all the time, winning starts long before you see it on a scoreboard. And I'm telling you, this team did all the things that I asked them to do last week. And so they were tired. They were, mentally it is incredibly difficult to pick yourself back up off the mat when you've lost heartbreaking 5-set matches. And our kids did it. We didn't have one match where I didn't think we came out and played with energy. We just didn't get over the finish line.
You're still playing a lot of people, but it's a situation where you're playing a lot of people and they're all doing their specific things. You're kind of building some quality depth.
No question. This schedule was to hopefully pay off later in the year when, we get into the real tough part of our conference. We have New Mexico State and UTEP in back-to-back weekends, and then have to go back to UTEP for the conference tournament. And, I got to believe after what these kids went through this week, nothing we see there will shock us. Not that those aren't good teams, because they're very good teams, but we will be pretty hardened, I think, and we will have learned a lot about ourselves and learned a lot of lessons early in the year that hopefully we can correct and be good at instead of being exposed in when we get to that point of the schedule. As you see, we continue to play pretty much our entire roster, and at different moments they're doing high-level things, and you just have to connect those and do it at a more consistent level, and we will.
It seemed like throughout the week, the other team went attacking the ball off the service line, and it seemed like they were attacking, Abby and Madison.
Mhm.
How do you combat that when like the team is trying to target?
Well, I mean, those kids, there's nowhere to hide in serve receive. And that was one of the areas, honestly, like we're up and down a little bit in serve receive, but to be honest, we took a big step forward from the previous weekend. If we had handled the ball up at Michigan State like we handled the ball this weekend, we probably would have come out of there undefeated. And hopefully that's something purposeful that we can move forward with. We were a little bit better handling the ball. About halfway through they're all running together for me, the Dayton match, I thought we really flipped a switch from the service line, and we were much more aggressive, much better intent. And if you look at our serving numbers for the last half of the Dayton match and throughout the Illinois match, we served the ball really well. I think yesterday we had like 8 aces and 4 errors or something like that, which is a marked improvement for us. And our issues right now are a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball, and just from a consistency standpoint. Izzy Vanderweely had one really high-level match and a couple not so good, and Kennedy Coyle's having a good match. The only person that's consistently been where we can put things on her shoulders probably is Kaylee Cox to this point. But again, she knows it's her time to be that. And Kennedy's a senior as well. We know we need Kennedy to do the same kind of things.
Up next is the Alyssa Kavanaugh Classic.
Mhm.
For you guys, every single year, that's a big deal. Can you kind of preview the upcoming matchups and what that means to you guys every single year?
Yeah, just glad to honor Alyssa and her family. We hope to have them in the building this weekend. Everything Alyssa stands for is kind of what we want this team to continue to be. We talk about last week, and I think Alyssa would have been very proud of our team in the last week for the grit. When you think about Alyssa and her career, you think about that epic 5-set match that we played in the NCAA tournament against Kentucky, where we just grinded and gave ourselves a chance and ultimately came up just short. But you could just sense how fearlessly she went about her business. And I think our team mirrored that a lot this past week, in similar situation. And so hopefully we can continue to do that this weekend. We start with an Arkansas State team who I think is 8-1 early in the year. And so we'll have our work cut out for us right away in this tournament. But just, it's just a chance to always remember that young woman, for what she gave to this program and who she was as a young woman, and make sure that her family understands that they're always a part of WKU volleyball.
Kind of went right where it was to ask. I mean, obviously, you mentioned her family might be here this
Mhm.
weekend. If that's the case, my understanding is it'll be the first time they've been here since her passing. Just to be able to extend that family, and if they were to be here this weekend,
Mhm.
that just kind of mean this.
Well, it'd mean a lot. We keep in touch with Leslie and Eric, Alyssa's parents, and obviously it's been a journey for them, since they lost their daughter, and no one could ever understand, what that feels like, and so their journey's been up and down, but we've always made sure that they understand that this is a home for them. I'm sure it's bittersweet for them when they walk in the doors to Diddle Arena. I'm sure it is. They have some incredible memories here with Alyssa, but I'm sure it's hard at the very same time. But one thing I do know is, Leslie, Alyssa's mother, has always it's always meant a lot to her for Alyssa to be remembered. This is certainly a way for us to continue to honor her legacy, and to, the Conference USA Player of the Year award is the Alyssa Kavanaugh, CUSA Player of the Year award, and just anything we can do to keep her legacy, in place here, because, she certainly was was one of the great players, but also one of the great success stories in terms of her development as a young woman.
Not one education day, but 2 education days this year. Get to play for the kids again on Friday.
Man, it's a different noise when those kids come in here, but we love bringing, young people in our community to our campus. I'm living proof of it. I was the first person in my family to ever get a college degree, and to expose all these young people to our campus, and for many of these kids, it'll be the first time they've ever stepped foot on our campus. And several of them obviously are fans of other sports and are here a lot, but there's a lot that don't have the opportunity. I know this. I came from one of those kinds of families, and so to be able to get them on our campus and get them to feel comfortable here and understand this whole other world that exists for them, and let them have a little bit of fun at a volleyball match, is a win-win all the way around, and we're looking forward to having a gym full again on Friday.
With this team, there's a lot of pressure that arises being on the team. It's the most consistent this over the past decade. If I did my math right, it's the first time we all lost 4 straight games since 2008. Do you find yourself having to check with your girls mentally, be like, knowing it's a lot to play for the team, you have to kind of pick them up knowing that they carry a lot of weight on them?
No question. That's a big part of today, is to reset, because there's just it's a ridiculous standard in our program. We lost more matches in the last week than we've lost in entire seasons many times. But this is not shocking to me. We talked about it early in preseason that this was going to be a stretch where any win was going to be a good win, and that's just the way athletics is. It's again, a couple balls bounce a different way, and we're sitting in here talking about how far we're going to move up in the top 25 this week. That's just the way it is. You can't control the ultimate outcome. You want to put yourself in a position to win, and we did that over and over against some of the best teams in the country, and ultimately had nothing to show for it. But no question, it'll be hard. It'll be harder on our players than it'll be hard on me. It doesn't bother me, and our fans. Our fans need to, take a deep breath because what they saw was, look, what they've seen over the last 20 years is Western Kentucky volleyball playing at an extremely high level. What they saw last week was Western Kentucky volleyball playing at an extremely high level. Okay, the result was just different. And if you're knowledgeable about our sport, you understand that, and you're not worried. And so I'm certainly not worried. I know what our team is and what we'll be moving forward from here. But our kids are 17-year-old kids reading their social media and doing all that, and so I'll have to reel them in a little bit. But I have a feeling when they see that I'm fine, they're going to be fine as well. And we'll just get back to work this week, and in a couple weeks, we'll all be talking about a winning streak around here.
You talked about the offense kind of need to be a little bit more consistent. What are some ways or players that you want to see kind of take that next step this week, or from practice and going into this?
Yeah, Kennedy Coyle is the first one that comes to mind, just because she's a senior and because she has matches where she's the most dominant piece in it offensively. But matchup-wise, the Illinois match was a match that she should have scored for us and didn't necessarily. And it's never because she doesn't play hard or any of that kind of stuff. It's just staying in the moment and doing the things she needs to do to be successful. And then, one of the other big pieces, without question, that changes us is Izzy Vanderweely. And, Izzy, you watched her have the best match of her career against Marquette. She had 17 kills, hit 3 whatever. Marquette's probably going to pop back into the top 25 this week. And, but then, she took a ball off of her hand late in that Marquette match and messed the ligaments up in her thumb in her hitting hand. And so she went from 17 kills to Friday night 1. And we are in trouble if she's at 1. And so I think she's going to be okay. They're going to tape her. They'll put a little protective piece on it, and I think she'll be okay with all of that kind of stuff. And we also have to remember just how young she is. She's being asked to go from being the kid that broke into the lineup at the end of last year to being a kid that has to carry a big load for us offensively right now, and that's a big ask for her. But it's what all this is supposed to be about. You grow and learn as the season goes along. But those are the two kids that I think change us from an offensive standpoint.